Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. Sorry, I am running late today. My light broke at the last minute. So, you see how like this looks darker than usual, the background? It's because the light broke there. So I had to use one to fill me in on this side, but I've got nothing to fill in the background. Womp, womp, womp. But you know what? This is kind of good news because I've been meaning to get a whole new lighting setup, a new camera and everything. So this is gonna push me further into getting it. I'm just waiting for Black Friday. Give me a few more days. I think it's 3 days. I think it's this Friday, right? Not the next one. And I'm hoping there's gonna be some good sales. I love me a sale, you guys. I cannot even lie. Anyway, how are you all doing on this beautiful Tuesday? I want to catch up with the live chat because I saw so many comments streaming in as I was running around trying to figure out what to do to light myself today. We've got Gala here. Bonjour, hamster. J'espère que tu vas bien. Jamie's here as well. She's got some snow announcements. Chilly day in northeast of Ohio. Oh my God, I feel for you, Jamie. Bundle up, babe. Bundle up well. Good morning to Tamara as well. Good morning to Venetia, Gwen, Kahara, Jess, K Minor, Kelly. Oh my God, so nice to see all of you guys streaming in. Good morning, Allie. Allie, yes. Sutton got robbed. Apparently, Kathy Hilton. Didn't they say Kathy Hilton got robbed too at the same time or something like that? Listen, now that Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband are under investigation after their robbery, I want all the Beverly Hills girlies investigated because how is it that that franchise gets robbed all the time and we have yet to see some fraud charges come out or insurance fraud charges come out rather? It's also suspicious, especially Dorit's robbery. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's investigate those ladies because it is very, very strange that supposedly the richest of them all, this, that, and the other, they've got such subpar security. And miraculously, their security systems never seem to work whenever they get robbed. Just saying. Good morning, Two Snaps. Nice to see you. Good morning, Milan. Happy Tuesday to you all. I don't know why, but in my head, it feels like a Thursday or something. So I don't know. It feels like it's going to be a long week, but hey. Good morning, Acacia. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Ashley. Yes, it's so nice to see you back. I always get so happy when I see your beautiful little doggy. Jalisa says, girl, are you caught up on the Kroy Cheyenne Taylor stuff? Corey's a creep. No? What are you talking about, Jaleesa? What happened with Kroy Cheyenne Taylor? Last I checked on them, Taylor and Kroy had broken up, are living together, but like they're not in a relationship anymore. I'm going to bookmark this so I remember to come back and see if you gave me an update on that because I have literally no idea. My team, I had two pieces of Team Mom news for the day. The first one is about Jade Klein getting baptized, and the second one is about Kale. Kale found out today, or recently this week, that the mob and the mafia are real, organized crime. She didn't know about that. She said it was a concept that she just thought was like a Disney sort of thing. She said it was kind of like Snow White in her mind. She didn't know it was a real thing. We're going to get into that. Good morning, Kalia. Nice to see you again. Good morning, Ronnie. Nice to see you again, too. Alice says, I just got a newer computer setup. Oh, I love that. Was it just looking into Govee lights? Thank you. You know what I'm going to do, Allie? I am going to screenshot this message of yours. By the way, you guys, you know what? We got our hotel booked for Sevilla now. So now we've got the flights booked. We've got the hotels booked. Sorry, it's not even a hotel. It's an Airbnb. So totally ready for Christmas in the south of Spain. Hallelujah. I am counting down the days. Good morning, lovely. Nice to see you. I'm telling you, well, why didn't this God send me, the free setup lighting? Why did this God have to break my lighting and now I have to go out of pocket for a new settings? Damn it. Good morning, Shelby. Nice to see you again. Good morning, Joy. So nice to see y'all. Listen, I was trying to come up with that list that I like to do for you guys, like, oh, like today on the show, blah, blah, blah. My computer, and I think it's because I use a VPN. Y'all know one of the sponsors to my show is Philo, and I use it to stream my shows like the Braxtons, 90 Day Fiance, blah, blah. But I have to use a VPN because it's only available to Americans, right? So today I was watching the Braxtons. I used the VPN, and ever since, my computer's been acting up. I wasn't able to use Canva. I wasn't able to even get onto YouTube for a while and all sorts of things. So that's why the thumbnail for today's episode of the show, let me pull it up for you guys. That's why it's not the typical like orange background. That's why I'm like, and it's not like a bunch of like faces from all the story we're going to cover. Like it's just Porsha because I could not cut out the background in my photos because, my things like these websites were locking me out. It was such a freaking struggle. Today is just not my day, I don't think so, technologically speaking anyway. Hey, Deshauna, Ocean Dreaming, Texas, girl, Texas, Houston, Texas, I hope. I'm just joking. Any city in Texas is just fine. And Jaleesa, look, everybody wants your tea now. Please, please, please do spill on what's going on with Corey, Taylor, and Cheyenne. Good morning, Latasha. Kalia says, Corey just took Mila and Ryder to Tennessee, but they got back last night. Maybe there's some more coming out about that. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Good morning, Teresa. So listen, why don't we get into today's stories? We've got a lot to discuss, especially when it comes to P Brain, P Willie, aka Porsha Williams. Listen, I don't understand what's going on with her at all. She is always caught up in some kind of mess. And it has been that way since pretty much her first or second season on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And the other day was no exception. So she was on a plane riding from Vegas to Atlanta when all of a sudden video cameras capture her being escorted off of the airplane by FBI agents, which is very, very strange. Like when people act up on planes and authorities are called, as far as I'm concerned, it's typically just, the local airplane security or whatever, or maybe the local police force. But the fact that she was followed by the FBI is particularly surprising or interesting or intriguing. And as of now, there haven't been any true details that have come out about it. It's just mainly eyewitness accounts on what she was like, what the interaction was like. So I don't know if you guys have managed to watch the video on TMZ's website, but there's a video. She looks really chill. So it doesn't seem like she's worried that anything is going to happen to her or anything like that. But that's the thing, right? Sometimes people, even if they're in a lot of trouble, they do like to try to kind of save face by downplaying the situation so that it doesn't draw too much attention. And if that's the case, then, this would be kind of a smart strategy on Porsha's end. In the video, there's a lady that tells Porsha that she loves her. Porsha thanks the lady. It's almost like, the FBI agents, and they weren't even hostile with Porsha either, right? So, for all we know, Porsha could have been the victim in a situation and the FBI agents might be helping her. Seriously, we really do not have any kind of information. I know she has a history of violence and trouble and whatnot, but in this case, there truly have not been any details leaked. So I would abstain from automatically assuming that she is in some sort of trouble or that she committed some sort of crime. But let me get into the TMZ article about the entire ordeal. So they said that the incident went down on Sunday night on her flight from Vegas to Atlanta. She was just leaving BravoCon. And she is accompanied by officers, and a spokesperson for FBI Atlanta told TMZ, and I quote, FBI Atlanta is aware of an incident on a Delta Air flight on November 16th, allegedly involving Porsha Williams and or at least one other person. We are looking to see whether any federal charges may or may not apply. Again, we don't know if Porsha is the victim or the aggressor. However, given Porsha's history of violence and aggression, including towards the elderly, I wouldn't be surprised if she were the aggressor. One thing about Porsha is she will never back down from a fight. And look at what it might have landed her now. You have to be really, really careful about these sorts of things. Violence is already never the answer, but especially not in an airport or on an airplane, right? Because this could potentially land Porsha Williams on a no-fly list. And I know she's a big fan of the Underground Railroad, but it is not as efficient it is not as efficient for travel, domestic or international, unfortunately, as air air travel is, right? So if she were to land herself on the do not fly list, that, I'm sorry, y'all, that would be absolutely hilarious as a Porsha hater. Truly, truly, truly. Almost a lost cause, so to speak, right? At her age, what is she, like 45 or something like that, and still walking around allegedly beating people like it's nothing, like she's a high schooler on lunch break or something with a bone to pick over her lunch money, like it's absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. Get well soon, Teresa. Get well soon. I'm so sorry to hear that you are not doing well. My goodness, I really, really hope that things look up for you soon, my darling. Yes, I do remember you. And I agree, Terry. I just don't know what it is. It's giving Groundhog's Day a little bit, right? Um, let's see, you guys, what do you have to say? Jamie says most flights have a marshal on deck. Tia says that had to be embarrassing. Latasha says that's a really nice picture of peach juice. Yeah, it is. I have to admit, she is very, very, very photogenic. Alex says, how can you have access to so much class and have no home training? It's true. Like, I really wish that she would elevate her mentality. Sorry, but Portia's got that hood rat mentality, and I don't even think she, grew up in the hood, so to speak. From what I understood, her mother was a successful businesswoman. She grew up middle class to upper middle class. Then she got married to a professional athlete. And ever since, she's been living in the lap of luxury. So, I do not understand where this kind of mentality comes from with her. Two Snap says, I wonder if Simon reported her. Listen, it might be payback, because I still do believe that Portia's the one that got his ass deported. Joy says, I'm so here for the shade. Grace is listen, it's the truth. It is nothing but the truth. Becky says, Underground Railroad, what was the most embarrassing? Truly, she's like, listen, there gotta be air holes. Listen, maybe she can go ahead and get those air holes, air pockets installed for herself then, because that is how she's going to be traveling, if she truly is on that do not fly list. The FBI, even though she didn't leave in handcuffs or anything like that, they're still saying that there is a possibility of charges being laid. Oh my God, if Porsha were to be charged for a federal, that would be absolutely insane. She's already got a mugshot. She's already been into her own legal issues. But this would really, truly take the cake. Thank you so much, Dida. Let's go ahead and take a look at the TMZ update, because I have to go to my lawyer, Miss ChatGPT, to see what the possibilities are of what could have happened on this particular flight. So let's go ahead and see. By the way, there's a new Diddy situation. I don't want to get into it today, you guys, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's the darkness because it's really cloudy and whatnot, but he's being investigated for another crime and it's being taken really, really, really seriously. So it looks like he might be standing trial again in the future, potentially even the near future. So like my co-reporter Dita just said, there has been a TMZ update. So I am currently loading it up. And what I'm going to do is I am going to share the screen with you guys so we can see what exactly went down. Dun, 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 dun. So let me see. I've got the article queued up. Let me go ahead, share my screen so we can all see what exactly it is that they have to say about this situation. Mind you, this is Porsha's word. And one thing about Porsha is she is a chronic liar. Listen, it very well could be true, but I'm just reminding y'all, Porsha is a chronic liar. If there's one thing my girl's going to do, it's lie. It's beat you up and lie. That's what it is. So here is the article. Porsha Williams, I was verbally assaulted on Delta flight. FBI still investigating. Her hair and makeup looks absolutely fabulous here, might I add. Porsha Williams is clearing the air about a dramatic Delta Airlines flight that landed her on the FBI's radar. Her lawyer, Joe Hibachi, tells TMZ, quote, Ms. Williams was verbally assaulted by an irate and unhinged passenger without provocation. The passenger then proceeded to make false allegations that were in direct conflict with observations from several eyewitnesses. So maybe that's why she was acting so calm, cool, and collected when she was escorted off the flight by the FBI agents. Maybe this is true. Maybe, she knew that she was in the right and she had nothing to be frantic over. Her lawyer added, as with any incident occurring abroad on an aircraft, federal authorities are required to conduct an investigation involving all parties to determine what, if any, offenses occurred. Ms. Williams has every intention of cooperating with law enforcement to whatever extent necessary and remains confident that the passenger will be charged. Damn. Do you guys think it was like an overzealous fan or something like that of the show who happens to hate Porsha and decided to drag her on that flight? Yesterday, a spokesperson for FBI Atlanta told us they were looking into whether federal charges applied to the incident involving the RHOA star and at least one other person. According to a spokesperson for Delta, after the incident, the flight continued to its destination without issue, which is strange. So they were removed from the flight and then the flight had to continue on. Like this wasn't the end of the flight, or did the flight not even take off? Like what really happened? I feel like I'm missing something there. Porsha was returning home from BravoCon weekend in Las Vegas, taking part in panels and posing for cameras along with her RHOA castmates. So there you go, you guys. That is Porsha's side of things. It very well could be true, but do not forget, Porsha Williams is nothing if not a liar. But at the same time, for what it's worth, a lot of reality TV fans are a little bit unhinged too. So that very well could be exactly what happened. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. And it looks as though if the investigation concludes that the FBI wants to press charges, it looks like Porsha would be very much in support of that and would do everything she could on her side to make sure that the charges stuck. So it's going to be a really interesting case to watch go down. Good morning, Amelia. Nice to see you. Ali says it was Simon. Look, Simon, there's some people out here that think that you're the one who might have been dragging Porsha on that flight. Is it true? Or who might have reported her? But he couldn't have been him on the flight because he was deported. And I don't think he's ever allowed back in the US after entering, by fudging his name and his identity. Thanks again for the tip, Dita. Dita says, if Porsha was escorted out, was the passenger detained? That is such a good question. So far, there's no official update photos or videos about what went down with the other passenger. So we have no clue on that side. But as soon as I get that information, I am going to be sharing. And guys, Jaleesa's back with an update about what went down with Kroy that she was talking about. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to get through the rest of you guys' comments about this story. Then we're going to take it over to the Kroy, Taylor, and Cheyenne scoop that Jaleesa is sharing with us. Tasha says that sounds plausible. These fanatics are bold, and it's true. Tia says Porsha probably stole that lady's man. That's the third thing she's gonna do. Mocha said, oh, good morning, Mocha. Nice to see you. Kalia says they were talking ish about Mila and Taylor. Oh, okay. Becky says, who's talking ish about a child? People are crazy. Truly. Becky says she probably wanted someone's window seat because she thinks she's famous. And yes, Terry said we're going to be getting into their stories. Good morning, Stab. Hope you're doing well today. Happy Tuesday. Ramster says these airports and airplane flights I'll never understand. I'm telling you. Honestly, people are so bold. Like, guys, being able to fly is incredible. It's such a blessing, right? And it's a privilege, not a right. So act accordingly. Jeez. Now, you guys, if you were just joining us, one of our beloved co-reporters, Jaleesa, has a story to share. She's got a scoop for us, okay? And so essentially, there's some drama going on with Teen Mom star Corey Wharton, and I want to put up some photos of him just to refresh you guys' memories. Listen, the show's been off air for quite a while now. Maybe some of y'all forgot who he is, okay? So let's get into Corey Wharton. She's talking about Kroy, Taylor, and Cheyenne as well. So let's get into Jaleesa's original comment. So she said, girl, are you caught up on the Kroy, Cheyenne, and Taylor stuff? Corey's a creep. I said, no, I have no clue. Please fill us in. And so that is when Jaleesa came back with more information. She says, Kroy made some comments about how Ryder looks and opened up the floodgates for idiots to comment on the looks of Ryder and poor baby Mila. Yikes. Is Mila their youngest daughter who just recently went through another heart operation, or is that the older daughter, the second daughter of his? For me with the teen mom people, I remember maybe their first two kids' names, then the rest is just, I don't know. Sometimes you forgot they're even there. Like with Caitlin and Tyler. Like, there's one of their kids where I'm like, where did you come from? Like, who are you? You know, whenever the scenes come in, which one is the? So I think Mila is his second daughter. It's really crazy. First of all, I personally do not like the way that these people put their kids out on social media and whatnot, and then drawing attention specifically to their looks is crazy. And it's really sad that people took the bait and then, you know, took things a step further by comparing her to her sisters. I feel like I have an idea of what they probably said, and it's disturbing to say the least. Kalia says they were talking ish about Mila, and Taylor went off on each person that said something. Damn. Y'all, please let your kids grow up in peace. Stop putting them all the way out there on social media, on these shows and whatnot to be picked apart. And exactly, Acacia, like Ryder is the spitting image of her gorgeous mom, Cheyenne. Now I want to know why y'all are saying he's a creep. Did he word his comments about her in like a specific way? You know, what is it exactly that makes you guys feel like Kroy is a creep? Because this is some interesting stuff. I'm only finding about this. I'm finding out about this live with you guys. So let me go ahead and put up a photo of Cheyenne Floyd, who is Kroy's baby mama, aka the mother to his daughter Ryder. Y'all are really filling me in today because I had literally no idea. Jaleesa says, I'm trying to find the story to link it. Oops, hang on. I'm trying to find the story to link it and can't. Cheyenne and Taylor made videos saying it's so weird for them to do that. Really? Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for the tea, because I literally had no idea, Jaleesa. Okay, so Mila is the oldest of the daughters that he has with Taylor. Listen, Mila's a cute girl too. So what is it that people are hating on? Like, people are so weird. Like, leave those girls alone. That is so strange, right? Absolutely strange. And thank you guys. So the other daughter's name is Maya, the youngest daughter of them all. So Jaleesa says he was like, oh, Ryder is beautiful, blah, blah, and then pans over to Mila and says nothing. Damn. That's not nice. That's weird. Mila is also beautiful. That's weird. Very, very weird. Ali says, I see a creep because who does this with kids? It's true. You know, people did that to Kim Kardashian's daughter, Chicago. Some people were making fan edits like, oh, she's going to be a baddie when she's older. And it was women doing this. And I was like, guys, she's a child. Like, what is wrong with you people? Like, you guys are so weird. Like, please, if you've got your own kids, go worry about them and leave this one alone. This is such weirdo behavior. Anyway, you guys, that is Kroy's baby mama, Cheyenne, with her husband, her unemployed husband, Zach, and Cheyenne and Kroy's daughter, Ryder, in addition to Cheyenne and Zach's son, Ace, as well. Damn, thank you guys for the scoop. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and if I see more information, I'll do a separate video about it. Speaking of the teen mom stuff, guys, did you see the thing about like Canal posting her text messages with David and how like they were going back and forth and whatnot? Like, it was really, really like crappy for her. I really feel for her. But again, at the same time, like, you knowingly got with somebody who hates women, abuses women, children, animals, like has nothing, and so uses women for a place to stay and all that stuff. Like, what are we supposed to do with this information? Like, everything that you're dealing with is exactly what people told you was going to happen. You know what I mean? So just saying, I don't get it personally, but I digress. There's quite a bit coming out in the teen mom world lately, I'll say. Now, what other story was it that I wanted to get into with you guys? I wanted to get into the Kim Zolciak story. Let's get back to Bravo for a second here. So Bravo has their annual BravoCon, and this year it's in Las Vegas. And so Kim Zolciak, or should I say Wig Zolciak? I'm sorry, and I really hate that I'm even saying this, but I would love to see her come back on The Real Housewives of Atlanta again. I'm sorry. I know y'all are going to drag me for it, but it's how I feel. That's my opinion. She needs to come back. She's a mess. She's psycho, all these things, but that's what makes for good reality television. I keep saying it. Unfortunately, the Bravo fandom, they claim that they only want to watch saints and angels on these shows. And so they want all the problematic people gone. And then what happens when the problematic people are gone? The shows suck. So I need this problematic lady back on the damn screen. I want to see her and her red Solo cup and her cigarettes and her, her coin cup, gambling away, trying to see what is happening. I wish that we could have seen her divorce with Kroy. That divorce, what is so messy, because it's still not even done, by the way, right? I really, really want to see what's going on there. So I was actually quite surprised when I saw her at BravoCon, because as far as I was concerned, she's not really associated with Bravo like that. She hasn't been on the Bravo network in a very long time. I know she recently did some kind of botched show over on the E! Network, but that's a completely different thing. So I'm hoping that this symbolizes that we're going to be seeing her again in some capacity in the future. So anyway, she spoke about her divorce from Kroy. She claimed that the reason for their divorce is because of Kroy's infidelity. Let's watch the video and then talk about that on the flip side, okay?
How are we feeling about life these days?
I'm happy as hell. Okay. I'm so happy. I moved into my new house. I'm at peace. My kids are great. There's a new guy. He's great.
There are headlines that this man is a married man. You want to shut that down?
I'm sorry. I'm legally married, and so is he. So he's been going through a divorce for years as well. So I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to wait until I'm legally divorced, which I don't think Kroy will ever give me a divorce.
What was the final straw for you that you said, I got to start over and get out of this thing?
He cheated.
Okay.
So
we got some BravoCon breaking news here. Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel here?
We've been in the same thing for 2 years.
Yeah. No movement, no change, just constant antics. When I said I was filing for divorce, he said, I'm going to publicly destroy you. And he told both my daughters that as well. And that's been his goal. And that's all he cares about. It hasn't worked yet.
So there you go. Kim is claiming that she is the victim in this divorce. They are divorcing simply because Kroy cheated. I got to be honest. I do not believe that that is the reason for their divorce. I'm not even sure if I believe that Kroy cheated. I really do believe that the reason for their divorce is actually due to financial reasons. They were under way too much financial strain. Once upon a time, they had millions of dollars. Kroy was in the NFL. Kim was just fresh off of having a sugar daddy who was dropping mad money on her, bought her a house and everything. She was on the highest rated seasons of RHOA. Like, she was rolling in that dough. But unfortunately, it seems as though Kim has some sort of shopping addiction, spending addiction, gambling addiction. And I think that that led to a lot of stress and problems in their marriage overall. Could Kroy have started seeing somebody after the marriage already, like, was broken down? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know that I believe what Kim's saying, that it's, oh, he cheated and so that's what. No, I think the financial issues are the major kind of stressors in this relationship. But I digress. And listen, I agree. She is disgusting, 2 snaps. And unfortunately, that makes for good TV. Tia says, I can't believe anything she says. Exactly. I'm not. And, you know, she's kind of like Lala, right? Where once upon a time, it was so great to flaunt about being a mistress sugar baby situation, right? But then all of a sudden, they now get triggered by the fact that they are so heavily associated with the fact that they date married men. So that's what you were seeing there, the attitude from Kim Zolciak. Becky says, don't believe it. Kroy was for some reason devoted to her. I really, really do believe that as well, Becky. I'm sorry, Kim, but I think that you were deflecting. And I feel like if she even just added that and said, oh, he cheated, that we were having these financial problems, maybe problems like, you know, with parenting or something like that, parenting styles. But like, for her to like whittle it down to that, I really do not believe that that is the case. Acacia says, I don't believe a word Kim says. Look, it doesn't look like any of you guys do. Kim Manners says the same thing. She lies more than Porsha. Listen, Kim, you do not have a good reputation. People just do not believe you, myself included. And this is just, you know, with all the stuff that we've seen in the headlines, come on now. And by the way, the daughter with her in that particular interview is the same daughter that is on that Next Generation show, talking about how Kim ran through all her money too. So if you're running through your husband's money, you're running through your money, you're running through your own damn children's money, you don't think that that's going to cause issues in the marriage? You really think we're going to believe that the real reason why y'all broke up is over a cheating? No, sorry. See, Becky's with me. Becky, listen, we're about to get dragged together, girl. Thank you for coming in. There's at least 2 of us now who want Kim back on RHOA. Velda says she's such a poor example of a mother for those kids. And listen, it feels harsh, but I gotta say, I agree. And it's true, D, people do change. But did Kim? I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna have to see evidence. Bring her back on RHOA so I can judge. B Chocolate says Kroy didn't cheat on her. He doesn't have any more money. Men are just coin ups to Kim. Exactly. Just be honest, Kim. We know you like him rich. And Kroy's just no longer rich thanks to your gambling. Kalia says, are all the housewives liars or just like 90% of them? Honestly, I really do feel as though you need to have some sort of a personality disorder to be a reality star let alone a real housewife, right? And so I think that a lot of these ladies exhibit those traits, with Kim being included, right? And I agree, Kelly. It's very, very sad to see the roles reversing. It's really sad and it's really, really damaging. Francine, I've been thinking about you. I'm still trying to gather my pictures to send you that email. I'm so happy to see you back. It's been a while, Bill. Hope you're doing well. Shelby says, I didn't even recognize that was her daughter. I swear I can't. Well, that's the thing. Okay, when you saw her daughter in that video, compare it to the daughter in these photos. Hang on. The photos I put up earlier included Kim's daughters. And the difference is truly night and day between what they look like then and what they look like now. Truly. So I think that I don't even know which daughter it was in that thing. Is it the one that's closest to Kim? That's the scary part about these face transplants people are doing. Listen, I do think that like when you look at them head on, okay, they look good, right? I think the daughter and all her work, she looks good, but like just the way that you can look just so completely different from like what you naturally look like is a little bit scary, to be honest with you guys. Just saying. Anyway, and I agree, Zoe. Change includes paying her daughter back and no longer asking her for money, because her daughter has been saying that she still asks her for money. Like she's basically Kim's husband. But I hope that now that she's got her new sugar daddy, 2 snaps. I hope that now that she's got her new sugar daddy, she leaves her daughter alone so her daughter can enjoy her next gen paychecks. Anyway, you guys, this next story kind of took me by surprise. I was really, truly not expecting it at all. Jade Klein, y'all remember her from Teen Mom Next Chapter. Thanks to her more famous mother. I don't love Jade on Teen Mom Next Chapter, but I tolerate her for Big Gulp Christie. If they were to bring back Teen Mom Next Chapter, please, even if they left Jade and Sean off, I wouldn't mind, just so long as we got Big Gulp Christie, right? So anyway, Jade's been going through a lot since the show has been off air. And most recently, she shared a TikTok of herself being baptized. I want to share that with you guys. And then we could talk a little bit more about it on the flip side, okay?
And so instead of taking my life, I gave my life to somebody who wanted it. That's why I want to tell people about Jesus, not because I'm not trying.
So there you go. In posting this video to her TikTok, Jade said, and I quote, "By the grace of God, all glory to my Savior." A lot of people seem to be really happy for her in the comment section of the video. And I really want to know what y'all think about it. And I say, you know what? Go ahead, Jade. Jade has been through an awful lot. And if a baptism, religion, or whatever it is helps her find calm in the midst of her extremely, extremely chaotic life, then why not? Why not? You know, like, why not? So I thought that was really interesting and really, really surprising. Another major change in Jade's life recently is the fact that she and Sean, her husband, are welcoming a pair of international students into their home. So they're kind of like foster parents almost, or exchange parents for a set of children. That seems to be going really well for her as well. And so I just hope that things continue to look good for her. I think that the best thing that Jade could do for her life, even though it's something that would hurt me as a Big Gulp fan, would be to cut off her mother. You know, I think her mom brings her a lot of stress, a lot of turmoil, and a lot of trauma in her life. And so long as good morning, B. And as long as she keeps her around, she's going to continue to suffer and to be in a state of emotional unrest and instability, right? So very, very sad situation. And I think it's great that she's trying to find things to believe in and to help her handle all that she's got going on in her life. Water and not polar pop. What does polar pop mean, Kaylin? Your dog is so cute, by the way. I love schnauzers. Kalia says, go juice, go juice like honey boo boo. Exactly. Be chocolate says, I like Jade as a person, but if it weren't for her chaotic family, she wouldn't make good TV. And I agree. I don't think she's compelling enough alone. She seems to be a really nice girl, I'll say. She really does. She seems to ride for her friends. She seems to just be so fun and just, you know, really loyal and everything. But outside of that, she's really not that interesting outside of her mother and her mother's strange kind of tag along husband. Now, you guys, why don't we get into the Kardashians? Kris Kardashian has often faced a lot of criticism for the fact that she remains close with her daughter's exes, despite the fact that her daughter's exes have treated her daughters like absolute crap over the years. And this is something that she decided to address in this week's episode of the Jay Shetty podcast. And so, to her own defense, Kris says, and I quote, "I fall in love with people, have lives and years spent with their partners and their boyfriends or their husbands. And I have all of these memories and travels and Christmas morning celebrations and birthdays and all the fun, the laughter, the joys, the tears, the babies. These are, in most cases, the fathers of my grandchildren. And I love these men. And that love doesn't go away when we experience really challenging times with them. It just doesn't turn off like that for me," which I find really strange because she says that about these men who mistreat her daughters, yet her own ex-husband who mistreated her to the press and everything like that and made her out to look like this terrible person, told lies about her. She knows how to cut that person off, right? So what is, and you have like actual intimate memories with this person. This isn't just somebody because they're with your daughter. This is somebody that shared a life with and had 2 children with, and had his help, at the time, his help raising your own children, right? So I don't get it. It's very hypocritical in my opinion. I do not think that this is a good excuse personally. I think it just goes to show, okay, like for me, when I'm hurt, I can cut people off, right? Even if we do share children and whatnot. But for my kids, no, I'm going to keep their exes around. I'm going to keep, bragging about the fact that they called me mom. So in this interview, she's bragging about the fact that whenever Trash Can comes around, he's calling her mom this, mom that. Like, she could have been your mother-in-law if you treated her daughter well. Her daughter accepted a proposal from Trash Can, even after all the times that he cheated, and he still went and cheated, So Kris says, what will my grandkids think 20 years from now if their grandmother treated their dad poorly? Or if I wasn't loving and kind and compassionate and forgiving? So I teach my kids forgiveness. It's one of the biggest lessons that I can teach them, to forgive somebody who's treated you badly and move on. Well, I don't see her doing that with Caitlyn. Was Caitlyn at your birthday party? No. But was this trash bag who cheated on your daughter multiple times? Yeah, absolutely. Very strange, Kris. Very, very strange. You know what I will say, though? Thankfully, she didn't invite Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's obsession with Kroy is downright creepy. He even talks about how he got like some kind of X doll made to mimic Kroy. So that's what he's doing in the privacy of his own home, boning a simulated fake Khloe Kardashian doll, which is very, very creepy and very, very violating. And it feels like it should be illegal, but the laws just haven't caught up yet. Just saying. Let's see what y'all have to say about this, because I'm just not here for it at all. 2 Snap says, keeping away from the Kardashians. Alex says, that's because Kris might as well be the boogeyman. Acacia says, oh my God, Kris, STFU. You're not here for it at all. 2 Snap says, Kris loves black men. She does. Ali says, so she's saying Kanye and Trash Can. Yeah, she's saying, and Scott too, all of them. And it seems like Lamar might even be on that list as well, which is kind of scary and weird, because I do remember a recent episode of the season of Keeping Up, where they spoke about Lamar and stuff. And then Lamar had that sit down with Khloe, and Kris was preaching about forgiveness this, forgiveness that, and whatnot. I know, Allie, it's just so ridiculous. It really, really is. It really is. Does she keep a loving relationship? Exactly, with Blac Chyna. What about that? That's a good question. Does she have a good relationship with Blac Chyna? Or is she, like I like to call my girl Lisa Vanderpump, a geriatric pick-me? Because a lot of these ladies from these generations, they are geriatric pick-me's. Just saying. Brandon says, I love it. Oh, well, thank you, Brandon. Listen, it's so fun. I have vertical for some people, horizontal for others, and it's just so cool that you're even able to do that. Tia says, she could be cordial, but best friends is weird. It is, inviting these people, letting them, cry on your shoulder and stuff when they did your daughter so dirty. The way that Trash Can treated Khloe, I would never speak to that man, other than like pleasantries. Like, he really is absolute trash, So for her to be bragging about him calling her mom and this and that, like, ew, it's just so easy for these narcs to infiltrate this family, truly. Helena says, Dream just exposed. I remember that. Exposed North having COVID. Ali says, Lamar couldn't even find a Khloe lookalike. He should ask Rob where to find them. Ew, not Rob, Ali, not Rob, her brother. Hey, Gwen. Well, it was so nice to have you here. Thanks for popping in, Gwen. Hope all is well. You guys, so much going on in this entertainment world. Listen, I do want to get into that Kale story for you guys as well. And then I'm going to wrap up this episode of the Morning Report with the Braxtons. By the way, can I ask you guys something? Do any of you guys have fake windows? And what I mean by that is maybe you have like an LED panel and then you hang it on your wall, then you put a curtain over it to fake that it's a window where you don't have a window. I'm thinking of getting one of those put in over my kitchen sink just to help give you that light that you need, right, from day to day, and just to have like a little bit fun dimension. So I've been on TikTok for hours this morning looking at tutorials on how to do it. So one of the tutorials, do you see this frame here? One of the tutorials said, take any IKEA frame, any size you want, take out the picture, use frosted spray paint, and then put your LED strips to the back. That'll make your your window, your lighted window. Isn't that so cool? So I really want to look into that DIY project, and I'm going to keep you guys posted on that adventure. And if you guys have other tips, please feel free to let me know. Anyway, like I said, you guys, we're going to get into the Kale not knowing that the mob was a real thing. And then we're going to wrap things up with a Braxton's recap. But before we get into that, I got a word from some of our sponsors. If you're enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the flip side. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today. Is it back? Okay, good. Now you can hear me. And we are back. Yes, you guys, fake windows. Joy, let me pull up a picture for you because sometimes you don't have enough light, or maybe you have like a wall where you feel like, I don't want to put up like a decor piece or whatever, but I think that like a window would be cool here or something like that. So let me get you an example of what I mean by that. Like a lot of times they look very, very real, especially when you hang a curtain over it. And some people actually like make holes in their walls and then they put the window, quote unquote, over the holes, and it looks really fascinating. I went down an entire rabbit hole of this on TikTok this morning, and I am truly, truly, truly impressed. So give me a minute to get this photo up here so I can show you guys an example of what I mean by it. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I feel like, especially in the season of winter and winter blues, you got to do what you got to do to get that sunlight in. I ordered one of those lamps as well, where you like face it for like, I don't know, 15 minutes to an hour and a half or whatever. And it mimics actual sunlight. I'm like, listen, I'm trying to do everything I can to survive the winter. Anyway, give me a second, you guys. Let's get into the Kale story. And then after the Kale story, I should have that photo uploaded for you guys. And yeah, I agree, Allie. Yes, I want to get the LED lights with the remote so you can control, like, I don't know, like the brightness, like the hue of it as well. Like it seems like a really, really cool thing that I'm, actually really looking forward to exploring in the DIY space. If you guys have any other DIY tips for people with winter blues or whatever, please, please, please feel free to let me know. Or even non-DIY. Like I said, I'm getting that like light that helps you guys with like feeling like you're in the sun. So anyway, here's the picture that I was talking about, you guys. So this window looks real, but it's not a real window. This is somebody that put up those the LED light panels, sort of a thing. So very cool idea, right? Sometimes it's just to make a place look bigger, more airy, more light, all that type of stuff. Anyway, let's get into our favorite dodo bird. One thing about Kale is she is not that bright, which is really strange because you would think that she were bright, right? With the media empire that she's built for herself. Like, I know that the way that she pops out these kids, like you already know she's not that bright, like with all these random kids and whatnot. Um, Sorry, not all these random kids, all these random men and whatnot. But sometimes she just really takes things overboard when you listen to her on her podcast. If I were Kill, I wouldn't really have a podcast because she has a lot of really bad moments. Remember, she, as somebody who's been talking for years about wanting to become a lawyer, she didn't know what the word indicted was. She pronounced it indicted. She didn't know that you could be charged for different degrees of murder. She's like, oh, I thought it was just murder. I didn't know there was a first degree murder, second degree murder, like this type of stuff. Like, then earlier in the month, or maybe last month, we talked about how she didn't know, despite having been to France and everything like that, she didn't know what the Louvre Museum was when Becky was trying to tell her about the heist that went down over there. Like, there's a lot missing with this chick, right? And so in today's episode of her show, she was talking about how she didn't know that the mob was a real thing, or that the mafia was a real thing. She thought that these were all just like invented sort of Disney-like character. She actually compared it to Snow White. She's like, oh, I thought it was like a thing like Snow White. Like, I didn't know it was real. I don't understand like the whole organized crime thing. Like, really? And Becky was kind of funny in this episode because Becky was like, really, you don't understand organized crime? Weren't you a part of like several pyramid schemes? Damn, shots fired. I keep telling y'all, Becky is low-key her biggest op, and I'm actually kind of here for it. She could be so funny. Like, imagine you were sitting there and your coworker is calling you out for taking part of not one, but several pyramid schemes, right? And she is likening them to organized crimes while you're talking about the mob and the mafia. Obviously, the two cannot be compared, but it is rather funny nonetheless. So let's get into some of you guys' comments about this situation. Acacia says, for Kayla to be so business smart, she is just so dumb. And I agree, right? Like, some people are only smart in like one thing or maybe two, right? But when it comes to everything else, they can seem really, really slow. Ronnie says, Kale is just not the brightest crayon in the box. And I can agree with that, unfortunately. Jamie says, Kale is so dumb. Like, duh, the mob is real and she wants more kids. She is delulu. Oh, please. Kale, I really hope you don't. 7 is more than enough, girl. Find another hobby. Daisy says, so Kale didn't know what the Louvre is and didn't know the mob is real. Yes, Daisy. Our girl is slow. Somebody please help her out. The schools are not well. She is a little bit slow. And apparently she even finished university, Tia. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Shelby says, who's going to tell her little people are real? Oh my God. She really does not know much. And it's actually quite astounding because, again, this is somebody who has a certain level of education, right? She went to university, she graduated, she got her degree, she runs several businesses, she's got like this real estate empire, this media empire, she has traveled all over the world, yet she doesn't know a lot of very basic things. And it's quite alarming, to be honest with you. Like, I felt like we learned a lot about the mob and the mafia and stuff like that, right? And their dealings in New York and, in other places and whatnot. Like, it's so strange to me. Hadn't she been to Italy as well? I remember when I went to Palermo in Sicily, like, I was so excited. One of the things that I booked was a walking mob tour to learn more about the history of like the mob and the mafia over there and whatnot. So I kind of wonder, what does she do in these countries when she goes to visit? How have you been to Paris and you don't know what the Louvre is? Like, do you not go to museums? Do you not do like certain tours or whatever? Like, for a cultural perspective, when you're traveling, do you stay on the resort, like, or in the hotel? Like, what is it that you're doing? I'm wondering. It's very, very strange. B Chocolate says, Kayla is too wrapped up in herself to be informed on anything outside of her own bubble. And it's scary because on paper, you would think that she would be a lot more cultured than that, right? Like, very, very strange. PY says, does she know where the mall is? Listen, she knows where the strip mall is because that's where she makes them babies, in the parking lot. She knows where Wawa is. And that's about it. And that's the scary part is, the whole Wawa, the strip malls and stuff, is that Kale, she used to say this stuff on her podcast, right? At this point, she had like 4 kids by 3 different men. And then she had met Elijah. And she was talking about like how she was impressed that this man took her out on a real date. This was her first time ever being taken out on a real date. I'm like, how do you marry a whole person and you've never been taken out on a real date? Are you lying? Because that's absolutely insane. Like, how do you have all these kids by all these men and they didn't have to wine or dine you first? Like, really? They don't even have to take you on a date? That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, the girl, I don't even know how to describe her. She's just very, very strange, very one of a kind, if I do say so. Now, you guys, do you watch this show? I do want to know about how involved or how invested I should get in the Braxtons. I got to tell y'all, when the Braxton Family Values first debuted on WeTV, I was super duper excited. I have always been a Toni Braxton fan, and I was an instant fan of Tamar Braxton when the show first premiered. She really was just like amazing to me. I thought she was so funny. I thought she was so iconic, like just so captivating. And it has been really sad to see the evolution of this family because things just keep getting uglier and uglier. I remember watching the episode of them physically fighting, Tamar particularly, and just feeling really disgusted. Like, you girls are so lucky to just have so many sisters. I think having sisters is the most amazing thing. I only have one. I would love to have like 4 or 5 like these girls do, right? But to see them constantly just be in such a toxic state with each other. They were like this with Tracy as well when Tracy was alive. It's just embarrassing. Like, you guys are so, I'm sorry, but you guys are so old. You're too old to be doing this, like physically fighting each other and just being so nasty with one another as sisters. You would think that one of your sisters passing away would open up your eyes to how important, your sisterly bond is and whatnot. And, if it's not serving you, maybe just cut it off instead of being toxic and whatnot. But they just refuse to do that for the sake of the show. There's something I also do not understand about this show, which is, how are the girls still so low budget? It's rude, but it's true. How are these girls still so damn low budget? Like, I see the clothes they're wearing, everything else about their lives. Like, I'm sorry, when Tawanda was doing her wedding bachelorette party and, seeing some of the stuff from Trina and all this, like, they all seem so low budget with the exception of Toni and Tamar. And I truly do not understand, because they have been on the show for a very, very long time. Like, since I was in high school, I think, right? Like, that was a long time ago. It's been well over a decade, going on 2 maybe, since they first premiered. So where is the money going? There are other people who've been on TV for a much shorter amount of time than that, who seem to be making more money and living like, more grandiose lives without being over the top, like Housewives of Beverly Hills or Housewives level in general. I do not understand that about the Braxton family. There's something about that that's really strange to me. It's either they're really bad with money or they're not being paid enough, because the way that they are destroying each other, you would hope that they are being paid a pretty penny, to embarrass themselves like this on TV. But I digress. Anyway, listen, I really do want to know how invested you guys are in the show, because like I said, I used to love it. I used to love that show. But it's gotten really ugly over the years. Kalia says, I watch it on YouTube the day after. Okay, so I'm happy. You at least watch it. You know what I'm talking about, Kalia. I'm happy about that. Steph says, yeah, I have 5 older brothers. I'm the youngest and only girl. I wish I had a girl gang of sisters. Oh my God. You must be so tough to have 5 older brothers. Jesus. Listen, me and my brothers, I have 2. We, with the older one, we used to boom, 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 go toe for toe. Like, I was just talking about this to somebody recently. I'm like, no, like, we would whoop each other's asses. We were not playing. Like, we were bound. So I can't imagine having 5. Now we're close, we're cool. But back in the day, that's what toughens you up, having brothers. And having sisters truly, truly is the best. Again, I really wish I had more. Clea says, I'm very glad you said that. Those comments afterwards are insane, right? Like, it's just so crazy to me. I'm really, really sad about it. Yeah, like, Tawana and Trina, like, why does Trina need to get like so many jobs every year? Like, you've been on TV for a really, really long time. Even the Housewives of Potomac came well after this. And the Housewives of Potomac, all of a sudden, they're able to get these houses, and they came on looking broke. Right? They came on looking broke. But now all of a sudden they've got these nice houses, they've got these nice cars, they got these nice, changes going on, cosmetics, procedures and whatnot, clothes, all sorts of things. Yet the Braxtons seem very, low budget still. And I don't understand it. They've been on for a very, very long time, right? Like, they look so sloppy all the time. They look a mess. Like, sometimes these girls, like, for example, in Potomac, sometimes they'll wear, like, for example, Giselle, she wears expensive jewelry. Like, her bracelets, each bracelet is a couple $1,000 Van Cleef. But she makes it look cheap. But you see that stuff and it's expensive. Like, it's one of those, if you know, you know. But with the Braxton girls, like, they're still shopping at Rainbows. I don't get it. Hey, Shar, by the way, thanks for popping in. And thanks to everybody who popped into my live with Kempire and Layla yesterday. We had a great time. And it was so nice seeing so many of you guys there too. So thank you. So nice to see you. Lex says, LOL, Grace. I was always jealous of only children back in the day. Really? Oh my God. That seemed, no offense to my only children friends here on YouTube, but that seems kind of like boring to me anyway, because maybe it's because my parents were not like that fun. But maybe if you have fun parents, being an only child is nice, but I don't know, it kind of seems boring. My French lover is an only child, and from what he describes of his life as an only child, it sounds really not fun. Just saying. Sorry to the only children. Listen, my nephew is an only child, but his mother, my sister, she loves to play and do all these things with him, right? So that seems fun. It seems really nice. But then, like, if the parents are really like, I don't want to hang out with you, I don't want to play with you, you're kind of just their vibes. Yeah, it seems boring. Shar says, I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. Oh, that's amazing. You're so lucky. You have a point, though. They have been low budget for a good decade. It's scary. Like, what are they being paid? And how are they accepting it? Like, they are the ones who put WeTV on the map. I had never heard of WeTV before these girls. So for them to put that station on the map and still be, like this, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. They still broke, just got debt. Like, how? Are they really bad with money? Because I know Tony's bad with money, right? Are the rest of them too? I know we just heard about Tamar having to put the down payment on Tawanda's house, but like, why? Like, shouldn't Tawanda have money at this point? Just saying. I cringe watching the Braxtons. I have 4 sisters and would never. Exactly. It is so sad. Like, this is not the way sibling relationships are supposed to be. It's really, really sad. If you can't get along, leave each other alone. This is disgusting, the way that they treat each other. So it says, I'm the youngest girl on my mom and dad's, and I have an older sister and 2 sisters-in-laws. Wow. Oh my God. How haven't you met one of your sister-in-laws? I'm intrigued. Do they live abroad or something? I'm telling you, Steph, they look so cheap. They really, really do. And it's sad. They deserve a lot more. They really do. They put that station on the map or network. Mary Judah says it does feel like they're focusing on affluent Black people, though. What, the Braxtons? Yeah, I feel like they should be affluent at this point. Like, what's going on? Where's the money? B Chocolate says, I would have been fine just being an only child. I love that for you. Listen, sometimes they got it made. Listen, my nephew's got it made as an only child, but sometimes they don't. So when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it doesn't sound great. So, there's something that went on in this episode that was really strange to me. So this season is really heavily focusing around Tawanda's wedding, right? And so one of her themes for the wedding is brown. She wants for the groomsmen to be in brown. Something that was really strange was that Tony hired a stylist for her son, Denim or Diesel. I don't know which one this is. And they're supposed to be a groomsmen wearing brown. Yet Tony's stylist only chose shades of blue, of gray. He was like, I don't like the color palette for this wedding, so I'm going to choose my own. That's not how it works. You're supposed to work within the confines of what the bride wants, So that was really rude and really strange. It was kind of like a waste of time and money. I felt like Tony shouldn't have paid this guy. I wouldn't have paid him, because what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I have hired you to find my child looks for this wedding that has this color palette, and you chose everything but the color palette. That's not funny. That's weird. So something I did like, though, I'll say, is that Tawanda and her fiance, they wanted for her mother, Evelyn, to have a date to their wedding. And so they hooked her up with a guy named Larry, who is friends with Tawanda's fiance. Apparently he rides bikes with Tawanda's fiance. And so I think it's nice that they set her up with somebody who's active. I thought he had really beautiful, sparkling eyes. He seemed like a really nice person. Like, some people's faces just seem like they're nice people. To me, that's the vibe I got from him. I will say, though, that they need to kind of tell Miss E to lay off the Botox, because it was a bit of a jump scare for me. I am not going to lie, you guys. I'm not going to lie. And now, lastly, I do have some final thoughts about it. Listen, I'm not too heavily invested in the Braxtons anymore, because it's always just, really ugly fights between sisters. And that's not entertaining TV for me. A couple fights here and there, whatever. But when it gets to be this ugly and it's the only thing y'all do, not that interesting. Did you guys see this? One of the final scenes. Did you guys get to see this part? This is a comedian named Faison Love. Okay. He was really disgusting. Like, truly, genuinely disgusting. So he walks into this house. He is a client of Trina's. She's trying to sell him a home. He walks in, and the first thing he says to Trina and her coworker is, so where's the bathroom? I had to take a shit. That's vulgar. What happened to hello? My name is, how are you? Like, that's how he walked in. And throughout the entire visit, he just got more and more vulgar, right? And just rude. So they're showing him the kitchen and stuff. He's like, oh, where do I make my hamburger helper? Like, okay. Then they go to the bedroom and he's like, oh, this is perfect for orgies. Like, don't y'all love orgies? Like, all this stuff. I'm like, sir, first of all, this man, he can barely stand up without being winded and out of breath. Okay. Like when they're in the kitchen at the end, wrapping up the visit, he's panting, huffing and puffing, leaned over the island because he can hardly hold himself up. And I'm supposed to believe this man is a beast in bed. Talk about where's the orgies. Sir, could you even put out 2 pumps before passing out? Is it safe for you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that was so weird to me, Like, it was just so disgusting and vulgar. Like, sometimes these men, when they come in so vulgar, like, yeah, I want to F everybody in here. This is where that, have you seen yourself? Like, come on, like that was so weird and so rude. I felt like he was being really, really disrespectful to Trina and her coworker. To me, it feels like actual harassment. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're asking, like, these are really weird questions, like this is just so gross. And again, like, sorry, but I do not believe that you've got any more than a pump in you. If that, come on now. Anyway, let's see what y'all have to say about this episode. Kalia says Tawanda's first husband probably stole most of her money. Damn. She really was married to a deadbeat. What was his name again? I know his last name was Carter. And so their kids' last names are hyphenated, Braxton Carter or something like that, which I thought was really cool. Andre, I remember him. Andre, he was such a loser. Such a loser. That sucks. The FBI. I mean, damn, Mary Duda. I gotta find the rest of your thing. Mary Duda says the FBI. It seems like they are, focusing on affluent Black people. Well, listen. That's why I said earlier. Go ahead and look into those Housewives of Beverly Hills. There are a little too many robberies, burglaries in Beverly Hills for my liking. Something's off. Start with Dorit. Tamara says, I'm the only girl with 2 brothers. We used to fight all the time as kids, but now we're great friends. I'm very lucky. Isn't that amazing? Listen, I think it builds character. Fighting, especially with your brothers, if you're a girl, it builds character that you're going to need for the rest of your life. Steph says, you're not lying. They keep advertising this commercial, and Tamar looks nuts or wicked. And then she does these like weird, like plastic looking baby hairs and stuff, like a mess. Like she looks a mess. But I will say that she and Tony are the only ones that look like they have like, even $5 to their name. Kalia says, no, they live in Florida. Switch between the holidays to come out. Oh, okay, see. Just says, I can't imagine getting through this life without siblings. Mine have helped me so much. That's so sweet. So much. I'm the youngest, so maybe that makes all the difference. You are, being the youngest, especially if you're a girl, I feel like that must be so amazing. My little brother's the youngest. And you know what? I feel like we do try harder. Like I have to call him all the time. He never calls me. He's kind of like, not recluse, but quiet. But I'm like, listen, I'm his older sister, so I have to call him, so maybe, hopefully your siblings are like that too. Steph says, I hate the colors too. Listen, so do I, but that's what she wants. What you could do is try to find the best color within that ugly color palette that works for you and your skin tone. And this stylist didn't even try. His whole job is to try and make, people look good according to confines of what they need. Like, he's not a good stylist at all. And I can tell too, Sharjay, a lot of people don't seem to like Miss Evelyn. And I got to be honest with you guys, I've never paid attention to her like that. So I'm going to be paying extra attention to her this season to see what exactly it is that people really hate about her. Shar says, I thought he was nasty. Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's so rude, but this man doesn't even look. No, I'm not going to say it. I already told you guys, he doesn't even look like he could put out 1 pump. Okay. So I'm sorry. You're walking out. No, Grace. Girl, stop. Guys, don't wind me up. Do not wind me up. Yeah, listen, I told y'all what I wanted to say. I told y'all already. So I'm going to be quiet. Clear says, but he's a comedian, so anything that comes out of his mouth is automatically suspect. That's the thing. Speaking of, what do you guys know about Nicole Byer, the comedian? If you guys know her, let me tell you a story about her, okay? But I want to know if y'all know her. Let me know. Like, do you follow her comedy and stuff? Because there was a story about her that came out that was really disturbing. Comedians, sometimes they like try to laugh off like some really disturbing things, and something she did recently was really disgusting. And I'm telling you, Mary Duda, he was literally hunched over that island. He could not stand. He could not walk 5 steps without being out of breath and panting and whatnot. It's not making any kind of sense. Anything that he was saying, he looked ridiculous to me. He really, really did. He sounds like, exactly. I'm sorry, Faison, but nobody's believing anything that you're putting down there. I'm sorry. See, Shar saw the same thing. The man cannot even stand up talking about, where's my orgy? This is where the magic goes down. Oh boy, bye. And the hamburger helper. Ew. I just know that D stinks. Ew. I just know that P is green. Y'all remember Caitlin has that Gatorade orange piss. I just know his is green. It burns a hole through the freaking through the toilet. That's what I know. Ugh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Gray. Nice to see you. It really is, Steph. I love it. And I agree to it too. Mary Duda, it's really, really cool. I love when people with good, like influential names that they worked hard to build up, they keep them. I know Tawanda Braxton wasn't a star in the way that Toni Braxton was, but she's still a star, and Braxton's a good name. Keep it for your kids. Toni Braxton did the same. Her son's last names are Braxton Lewis. Keep that name. I hate to see these women with these fabulous big names give it away to these like nobodies. You know what I mean? Like the Kardashians. Really? You're giving your kid the last name Webster of your random boyfriend who cheats on you? Not even your husband? Okay, girl. Okay, really? You're going to give them Disick and not Kardashian? Like, okay. Okay. She was on Guy and Girl. Exactly. Yes, she was. And I really, really liked her on, but she is. I'm going to show you guys the article, okay, since y'all know her. I used to watch the Nailed It show with her. It was hilarious, right? And she has that show with children. Let me tell you guys. I saw this article about her on page 6 that was really disgusting. I'm going to pull it out for you guys before I head out, because I do have to head out. Then I want to film this. Actually, before I head out, I want to film another chapter or half of the chapter for my channel members about the Ashley's book, the behind the scenes on Teen Mom. I know, Kelly. I know. That's why I have to calm myself, because once I start, I can't stop. I can't. God, those shows used to be so good. Listen, let me go ahead and pull it up. Nicole Byer, page 6. I think it was Uber or something like that, or taxi. Here it is. The article came out just last week. Because listen, I'll tell you guys something. I used to anyway. I used to listen to Nicole Byer's podcast. It's called Why Won't You Date Me? So if you're like a young single lady, or maybe you're dating or something like that, it was a really interesting podcast, like for like dating, blah, blah, to be able to follow somebody else's adventures parallel to your own, right? But then I just found her like increasingly weirder and weirder and more vulgar. Listen, if you haven't noticed yet, I detest vulgarity. I find it to be disgusting. I find it to be rude and just intrusive, right? I can't stand it. It just feels really gross and disrespectful. So I don't listen to her podcast anymore. I'm a prude. I own that, right? I own that. So to my surprise, here I am reading page 6, and this article comes up about Nicole Byer. And it's really disgusting. I'll tell you guys, I really want to know you guys' opinions about it. It's really, really disgusting. And mind you, listen, I read page 6, but I don't support page 6. So guess what I'm clicking? So this lady is also a host of a children's show called Nailed It, or a show that's heavily geared towards children on Netflix. And this is what she's doing in her free time. And she's joking about it like it's normal. Okay. So let me make sure that the screen is being shared with you guys. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm properly sharing the screen before I even get to yapping and reading the article. I don't know why, but I'm seeing a black screen here instead of the actual article. Come on now. What's going on? Sorry, y'all. My thing is loading really, really slowly. I want to make sure that it pops up. Okay, so I see myself now. I don't even see the black screen anymore. So I guess that did not work. So I'm going to go ahead and try again. But it says that it's sharing. Can you guys let me know? Okay, I'm back. Sorry, you guys, it kicked me off. I'm going to try it again. And listen, if you guys have kids in the room or something like that, maybe tell them to head off or something like that, because this is really, really vulgar. I'm warning you guys, it's extremely, extremely vulgar and disgusting what she did here. So now I see that the screen is sharing. So let's get into the article. So page 6 put out this report about Nicole Byer doing a bit about how she actually harassed, or in my opinion, actually assaulted, I don't know what the legal terminology is here, a cab driver. And again, this is similar to Faison in the episode of the Braxtons, where he walks in and he starts saying all these really vulgar, disgusting things, which in my opinion constitutes actual harassment, right? To somebody on the job. So, and that's how I got to this Nicole Byer story, because I just feel like comedians, they get away with a lot, under the guise of jokes, even though the things that they're saying and doing are incredibly inappropriate and sometimes even straight up illegal, right? So this is the page 6 article that I'm referring to. Again, it's very vulgar, no kids around, trigger warning and everything, okay? So page 6, comic Nicole Byers was scolded by a cab driver for performing X act in his backseat. And she's joking about this. This is funny to her. She got a lesson in civics. So it's funny to page 6 as well, right? So comic Nicole Byers says she was scolded by a cab driver after she gave someone a BJ in the backseat of his Honda. The star said on Brooke Candy's Unwrapped podcast Tuesday that she once went home with a guy after meeting him at LA bikini bar Jumbo's Clown Room, and things got off to an inauspicious start because they got a head start on their night of fashion. So that's another joke, because it is funny to be harassing people on the job, right? So in her own words, I gave him oral X in the back of a Lyft, and it was a Honda Civic. So I'm giving this man blank in the back of another man. And the driver was like, can you guys just... And Buyer said, and I was like, sorry about that, because he was involved in a way he did not want to be. And that's so rude. So we zipped him up until we got home. That's disgusting. In my opinion, that's assault. And again, because she's a comedian, it's supposed to be funny. And she gets away with this. And then the blog, they joke about it as if it's something that's hilarious, when it's actually extremely, extremely, extremely disturbing, inappropriate, and in my opinion, illegal. That is a really disgusting thing to do to somebody, truly. Imagine, because a lot of people do this as like a side hustle or whatever. Like, this is your side hustle. You're just driving. All of a sudden, something like that's happening in the backseat of your car. Like, it's disgusting. That's disgusting. Big star. I'm very disappointed. I think so, Deshauna. Like, she got weirder and weirder. I used to really love her, especially on Girl Code. That's where I met her or got introduced to her, and I loved the podcast at first. But it got really weird. And now hearing that too, I'm like, okay, I did well to shut that stuff off, because this is just not my vibe. This is disgusting. No, I haven't, Steph. I might look into it to see, where would I find that show? It sounds good. We need to go back to R-rated PG-13 so we can choose if we want to interact with a TV show, podcast, or book. Disappeared. I know, I'm back though. Sorry, you guys. My computer got overwhelmed when I was trying to share the screen. Exactly, Acacia and B-Wise. It was really, really disturbing. It's just really inappropriate. It's not funny. I don't know why she set it up like it's funny. I don't know why the blog wrote about it like it's funny. It's really, really not funny. As far as I'm aware, no, but I think she should have. And I actually think that the driver should have even pressed charges, to be honest with you. That's just insane to do that to somebody at all. And I agree, Mary. Exactly. You guys, it is disgusting. It is crazy. And to publicly say that, like, this is how like people's kind of like downfalls come. Like, here they are talking about the illegal, nasty things that they do to people, the assaults that they commit on people. And nobody pays attention until all of a sudden they go, because they see that they've been emboldened by the fact that they're not getting dragged or whatever, right? They go and do even worse. And people go, oh, how could they do this? Well, it's been happening in front of your eyes this whole time, right? And yeah, Shark, the driver really should. She's admitted to it on her own. So I really think that the driver should take the opportunity to sue her. And at the time, the driver should have even pressed charges as well. It was so good. Acacia says, I have heard that her previous content was that way. It shocked people that she became mainstream. Yup. Honestly, it's crazy to me that, they put her on the children's show with the way that her comedy is set up. Hey, Ease, no, she's not arrested. In fact, her lawyer put out a statement that says that she was the victim in the situation, and she is cooperating with the FBI to get the person who verbally attacked or abused her arrested. Ronnie says, I don't find anything vulgar funny. My husband says I'm no fun, but I truly find it nasty. I'm the same way. I don't. It's lazy. It's lame. It's just disgusting to me. Some people drive their children and family. Exactly. Yes, Char, that's true. That's true. That is so nasty. It really, really is. Like, there's nothing funny about that. Anyway, listen, East, I'm sorry you just popped in, but I have to head out. I only have about 30 minutes to shoot my channel member video before I head out to the gym tonight. But guys, I had a great time chatting with you guys as usual. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Morning Report, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. As usual, I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk more about the day's hottest stories. Again, thanks so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.